That's it. We're back with another XRP report. Thanks for listening every day as always. Happy Sunday no matter where you are in the world. I hope everyone is having a great weekend. But if you look at the market as a whole, you are starting to see a lot of gainers, even though Bitcoin has had a small drop in value over the last few hours. As you can see, the market is still responding very positively. This is because of the dominance, which we'll talk more about later in the report. But as I already said, most of the market is up and the price of XRP is above $2 to be exact, $2.06. This is also down about 0.5% compared to BTC. The market capitalization is still well above this exact $120 billion mark, $120.5 billion, and about 1.1 billion trades happen every 24 hours. But before we go any further, I want to make it clear that nothing on this channel is meant to be taken as financial advice. As with any investment, you should always do your own study before putting money into crypto. Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, says there is no way the company will go public in 2025. I'm calling it a clear no. Most businesses that go public do so to get more money. We haven't had to get more money. A lot of people in the crypto community have been waiting for Garlinghouse to make a big announcement because let's face it, if you've been following the XRP journey or crypto markets for the last few years, you already know this. In the past, Garlinghouse has said that they will look into a possible IPO once the case is over. This lawsuit is still going on though. We've clearly heard that big news about that case is on the way. It looks like both sides have reached some kind of agreement. As you may know, a lot of people in the XRP community have been talking about an IPO ever since. This is because IPOs are very popular right now. Not just a Ripple IPO. We're talking about a lot of digital asset companies that could go public now that we're at that point. As I already said, Garlinghouse has said that it won't happen this year, but that doesn't mean it won't happen at all. That could happen again next year or the year after that. But, based on what they're doing and what he's said in the past, I do think that Ripple is a business. I'm sure it will be on their schedule at some point. I think Ripple will go public. It might not happen this year, but I'm sure it will happen. Please tell me what you think about this in the comments section below. I know some people will be like they were mad about this because they wanted the IPO to happen. More attention is brought to Ripple, which has an effect on the price of the XRP token itself. But I think we need to understand that it doesn't always happen all at once. ETF is something we need to see approved. We've already seen all of the digital asset ETFs that are being put together right now. The XRP ETF is ahead of the rest. Everything looks good so far. We have to understand though that it's a game of waiting. It won't happen all at once. However, please tell me what you personally think about that below. But look, more than 1 million XRP were sent from Nexo wallet to an address that I don't know. What's going on? Is this another over-the-counter deal? Write your answer in the box below. But we haven't seen any big amounts of XRP that have been moving around a lot. I would love to hear your thoughts on this though, so please leave a comment below. But take a look at this. Now Charles Hoskinson has dropped some really big news. Again, it's just a guess at this point. But listen to what he says. It was said by the founder of Cardano that Apple, Google, Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla are all investing in crypto. Some of these companies have already talked about crypto. One is Tesla, which is pretty clear. Microsoft isn't so clear to the world, but we've heard of them. There's news coming out of this. But there is one thing that all of these companies have in common. And I'll tell you what it is. If you look at their job postings, and I love doing that when I'm bored, you can see that every single company on this list is hiring blockchain developers, crypto analysts, and other people who understand the blockchain industry. What do they want to do? Because they might have plans to build that into their systems. Yet please share your personal thoughts on this matter. IOHK says that 3 billion people will have cryptocurrency wallets on their Android and iOS phones. And I think that's already happened with some Android phones. And I think it will only be a matter of time before you see that happen in iOS all the time. Please share your personal thoughts about that below. Now let's look at what was on Fox News. It says that you can buy a house with crypto, like Doge or Bitcoin. So look, Fox showed someone buying a house with cryptocurrency this morning. Okay, just think about a time when you could buy a house with XRP or BTC like Dogecoin. Some people might think that's big news, but it's already happening. That's not a new idea these days. You can use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to buy a house. I think this will become the rule. As you know, when you look at the future from this point of view right now, you can see more of it. When you buy a house the old-fashioned way, there are so many fees that you don't want to pay the transfer fees with Drive. That doesn't matter anymore, because there's too much going on. If someone is ready to take your cryptocurrency to buy this house, or the one that I'm sorry, you sell the house you're looking at. It's just an easy transaction, so get rid of all those third-party groups that you're involving yourself with. Or isn't the usual way to buy and sell homes at the moment. I believe this changes the game, and I think this will become more common in the next 5 to 10 years. But it's already happening with people who are lost. Last but not least, take a look at this. Wow, this has to be really interesting. It shows where these big companies are going. That means Deloitte works in more than 150 countries. It's a big network of professional services firms around the world. Deloitte works with many of the most well-known names in the world, including almost 90% of the Fortune 500 and thousands of private businesses. As you can see, Deloitte has made a proof of concept in boosters to make it easier for people to send money across borders using blockchain platforms. Payments to bulk suppliers, and sending money to other countries, are examples of useful use cases. Deloitte has teamed up with Stellar and Ripple, two well-known blockchain systems, to make integration better. There you have it. Let us now check out what's going on with the XRP price. In the past few hours, Control did drop again, this time to about 63.67%. Yes, it is going down so far, but it still has a long way to go. In the big picture, the power is still pretty high, but it did go down. Right now, Bitcoin is experiencing a small drop, but altcoins did really well against BTC, because as I already said, the money isn't really leaving the crypto area. It's just going back to the other coins. But if you look at XRP right now, it's basically in a fight between the bulls and the bears between these two levels, which are 38.2 and the 0.50 fib zone. Of course, there have been a number of retests in the 38.2 range and the 0.50 range. You can see that there is some support built up around this area right now, at $2.06. That's where we are right now. We also checked that again a few hours ago. There is a good chance that we could go down to $2.04 if we lose this support. Of course, especially if BTC has a small drop, which would naturally cause some of these coins to fall as well. Well, that would only be a 1% move. Of course, you should know that these kinds of wild moves can happen. It's just how the game is played, and things still look really nice in the big picture. It's clear that it's the weekend. Since CME futures are close on the weekends, there is more manipulation than normal. It is very important to stay within the 38.2 range though. But please tell me what you think below. Stay safe and have a nice day on Coins Alert.